what do you guys feel about the Buccaneers beating the Saints?
Yeah, I'll gladly start it off, Trey. First of all, thanks for having me, man. Listen, man. What more do we need to say about Tom, born in a manger, Brady, man? What else does he need to prove to y'all that he's the greatest to ever do it, man? First of all, let's talk about the Bucks not being in the playoffs since 2007, right? Now we're one game away from the Super Bowl. And I say we because I'm a part of the team. I'm part of the organization. One game away from the Super Bowl in Tampa, mind you. What else? What else can we do? Man's 43 years old and he's still carrying us to the wins. What more can we say? I don't understand.
He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. GOAT, greatest of all time.
Are they real quiet, Kay? But they had a lot to say. They had a lot to say, Kay. They had a lot to say.
I'm gonna be real short. All I gotta say is, Drew Brees can't turn the ball over 4 times against Tom Brady. You'll lose the game every day of the week. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many points you put up. You turn the ball over 4 times against Tom Brady, you're not going to win the game. And 3 of those turnovers turned out to be they scored 21 points off those turnovers. That was the whole deciding factor of the game. Tom Brady didn't have a wow game. He went 18 for 33, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns. But hey, Tom Brady didn't throw no picks. He didn't fumble the ball. He didn't turn the ball over. So at the end of the day, Tampa Bay traveling up to Lambeau, and you get to see that man, Aaron Rodgers. And that's a bad man.
You know what that's called, Des? You know what that's called, Des? That's called resolve, man. That's called figuring it out. When and a divisional rival that you lost to twice. So there's that psychological factor. You lost to him twice in the regular season, right? Now I'm taking a team, and if I'm Tom Brady, I'm taking a team with no playoff experience on the road back to New Orleans, right? To get a dub in the playoffs in the biggest game of all their careers, outside of maybe Gronk and Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? It just speaks to the culture changer that Tom Brady is. It just speaks to him finding a way. It just speaks to his greatness.
Finding a way.
So I'm asking this: you're giving all the credit in the world to Tom Brady and not to your defense, because your defense created 4 turnovers and gave you a short field to score on for Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't have to drive the ball down the field to score on those turnovers. He was right there. It was handed off, throw a touchdown here or throw a touchdown there. Let's not act like the defense didn't show up. You said earlier that y'all defense was suspect.
Correct.
I've never said the Bucs defense was suspect this year. They got a bunch of young talent. Devin White is a Pro Bowl snub. He made great
Pro Bowl
plays
snub for sure.
And y'all have a young secondary that can honestly be one of the best secondaries if they develop to what they're supposed to develop into. It can be the best secondary in the league. But the story isn't Tom Brady to me. The story
not Tom Brady.
The Bucs defense coming out to play, slowing down a very good New Orleans Saints offense, and Drew Brees. We always talk junk about Tom Brady, how he's old and washed, and Drew Brees deserved the same slander. Drew Brees can't drive the ball down the field. His arm has been dead this whole season. He did it last year. He won a 6-game hiatus, and that's how Teddy Bridgewater got the job in Carolina. It's getting ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's obvious what's being done out here.
Man, I refuse to make any excuse for Drew Brees. Drew Brees threw 4 picks. He's god awful, man. He didn't play at a Pro Bowl level that we're come to know and love and see him play. It's getting bad, man. It's getting bad. I personally think the story was the Bucs defense and Drew Brees not being able to draw the ball down the field and making terrible decisions. Now, I will give credit to Tom Brady because Tom Brady didn't have to give you the vintage Brady game. Tom Brady just had to be a great game manager and don't screw up. Your defense puts you in a great position. So let's go get some points. Let's go get some points.
Des, you do realize the Bucs had a top defense last year too without Tom Brady. They only won 7 games. How is the story not Tom Brady?
When you got Jameis Winston throwing 30 touchdowns and 30 picks, that's Madden-like numbers. Let's not act like y'all didn't have Jameis Winston. Oh, by the way, threw a touchdown pass against his former team.
Yeah, don't get me started on that one. Don't get me started on that one. Don't get me started on that one, man.
Hey, man. Hey, baby. Hey, who want a dub, baby? Who want a dub? I want to
The
get a
fact
dub.
that you say, the fact that you really believe that Tom Brady is not the story when this man has shifted the entire culture. Mind you, I'm from Tampa, so I've spent a lot of years watching us not make the playoffs. The fact that you think Tom Brady doesn't come in and automatically shift the entire culture of the organization is mind-boggling. Every win is because of Tom Brady. Now, he's not on the defensive end, right? The defense did step up, but you don't think that's an effect of Tom Brady and his leadership and the culture that they put in place? They gave him the keys. What do you?
Talk to
There's no extra effort by 4-5 if Tom Brady's not your quarterback. You know what I'm
What?
saying? You know what I'm saying?
Devin
Like,
White played great last year without Tom Brady. He played great last
it's
year
a
without Tom
reflection of
Brady. So
it's a
how are we saying,
reflection of
oh,
your
Tom Brady's the
leader.
reason Devin White is out there making plays? Devin
It's
White
a
was a
reflection
great
of your
pickup
leader, bro.
for. You said what?
It's a reflection of your leader. LeBron James is great because he's a leader that gets the best out of his team. He maximizes his team's potential. What are we talking about here, man?
Okay.
Leaders have that aura. When you walk
He's
into an
spitting right
organization,
now.
Give you that a leader have that aura, but at the same time, you can have all the aura, you can have all the experience and shift the culture. But at the end of the day, when you play football, you gotta go out there and make plays. At the end of the day, it's just like when you play basketball, you gotta put the ball in the basket. At the end of the day, you gotta make plays.
You know, very similar to what Dad said. I got to give it to the Bucks defense. Now, let me preface this because Tom Brady played a very solid game, but he never had to drive the ball down the field. There was one drive where he drove the ball down the field and ended a field goal. Every other time that they scored, it was because the Bucks defense came through and gave Tom Brady a short field. You give Tom Brady a short field, just like Dad said, you're going to lose every time. So, while again, he played a solid game, but that win was on the Bucks defense for sure. And Drew Brees, I mean, he didn't complete a single pass that was longer than 20 yards the whole game. He couldn't throw the ball downfield. He was inaccurate. Like, he played a terrible game from Drew Brees. And, you know, we expect better. But ultimately, I got to give it to the Bucks defense.
We keep giving them excuses, but the Saints don't win big playoff games. This is the third year in a row that they have lost a big playoff game at home. There's no excuse for that. You don't lose big playoff games at home. I don't care what you say. You don't lose big playoff games at home. That's why you win in the regular season, because you want your playoff games to be at home. COVID or not, fans or not, you always win at home.
Hey, Dez. Let me ask you a question, man. If Jameis Winston is the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year, who wins that game? Who wins this game?
Don't lie.
Hold on. I'm gonna ask you a question on top of that question. You said of this game.
Yeah, this game right here. Who wins?
Is Drew Brees throwing 4 picks?
Well, however you want to paint the picture,
Drew Brees
man.
throwing 4 picks? Is Drew Brees throwing 4 picks?
Yes.
The Bucks win that game. Yes, the Bucks win that game.
That's
the
Bucks
Bucks win that.
You know
ball.
That's cat.
You can't turn the ball over 4 times, and then the other team don't turn the ball over at all. You can't turn the ball over 4 times.
When your quarterback
on your own side of the field,
on your own
side of the field,
they got the ball on the 1, the 10, and the 20. The worst field position they got after a turnover was on the 50-yard line when the game was over.
I'll say this. Guys are flying around, making plays because of Tom Brady's there. They're playing harder. You know what I'm saying? You know, the energy on defense is up. The extra effort plays are there. I'll say this, man. Say what you want about that. This was the Bucks. Even they stepped up. I'm a Bucks guy. I was scared for our secondary all season. But Tom Brady has this team one game away from the Super Bowl in Tampa, mind you. I'll say that again, in Tampa. One game away from the Super Bowl. If that's not on Tom Brady, man, who else is it on?